Good morning to all of you students. Welcome to the physics class. In this session, we will discuss the second part of this chapter, and we already discussed in the first part only units and measurement, and in second part we will discuss errors analysis completely. So this is the important lecture for all of you. Okay students, start. So students, first of all, I want to tell you what is error in measurement. So what is the meaning of error? So student, if we are doing any work or performing any experiment, then if we do that work very accurately, very concentratedly, then there are few chances to the mistakes generate. But if mistakes are generate, so these mistakes can be considered as a error. These error can be possible by own mistakes or by the mistakes of or by the disadjustment of instruments. So students, in the measurement taken in the measurement taken during an experiment in the laboratory, two types of errors can be possible. First is error present in instrument, second error due to observation. It means that if we are doing any observation, then error can be possible, or it can be possible also the instrument is not good, that's why the error is produced. Clear? So here we will discuss some types of error. First is systematic error and second is random error. Clear? So student, first of all we will discuss systematic error. These errors occurs constantly in an experiment, repeated under identical conditions. Means if we are doing any experiment again and again taking different readings, then such types of errors are occurs. Clear? And this error can be possible by the different methods. So in this systematic error we will discuss there are some types of error like instrumental error. These errors are due to shortcoming in the instrument, like error due to defective of the instruments. For example, zero error in vernier calipers, screw gauge and spherometer, backless error, etc. So these are the errors generated by the instruments. That means they are already present in the instruments. So we can say that these errors are instrumental error. Clear? Next, error due to imperfection. So students, this error occurs This error occurs due to some imperfection of the apparatus used in an experiment. Clear? For example, in heat experiment, the loss of heat due to radiation is an unwanted phenomenon. So, however, for performing a good experiment which is related to the heat, we cannot calculate the accurate value because some amount of heat can be absorbed or exerted by the phenomenon. So these are considered as an imperfection error. Clear? Okay, students. Now, gross error. These are the errors introduced due to the casual approach of the experiment, such as improper adjustment of the experiment setup and observation part and computation mistakes, etc. That means in the case of gross error, we can find that errors generated by the calculation, error generated by the disadjustment of the instruments. So by these processes, that error produced in the instruments is called gross error. Clear? Now random error. These arises due to a small changes in the condition of the experiment and incorrect judgment of the observer in taking the reading. So these are called random error. Clear? Okay students. Now we will discuss some another errors. First is absolute error. So what is absolute error? So you have to learn this formula. Absolute error is equal to true value minus measured value. So if we know that the true value of any particular experiment and we are finding different values by doing the experiment, so by taking average after subtracting, so we get the error is called absolute error. Clear? It is generally represented by delta n is equal to a bar minus an, where a bar is the average value and a1, a2, a3 are the readings of taking again and again. Clear? So a bar is the mean value of true value, means if we have a true value of an instrument and by taking again and again experiment, then first of all we will find the average value of true value. Now mean absolute error. So student, mean absolute error is defined as the arithmetic mean of the absolute error after different measurement is called mean absolute error, and it is represented by delta a bar. It is equals to mod of delta a1 mod of delta a2 and so on upon n. Clear? Okay student, relative error or fractional error. So relative error or fractional errors is defined as the ratio of delta A bar upon A. It means that the ratio of mean absolute error to the true value of the measured quantity is known as relative error or fractional error. Okay student, now percentage error. So in order to find the percentage error, we have to multiply it by 100 the relative error or the fractional error. Now student, we discuss here least count of measuring instruments. So what is least count? As you know that every instrument have a fixed value, and below this fixed value we cannot find the accurate measurement of any object with the help of that instrument, and the minimum amount or minimum value which can be made, which can be calculated accurately with any instrument is called its least count. Clear? Okay students, combination of error. Our next topic is combination of error. If there are number of errors can be taken in any experiment, in any process, then in that process, in that experiment, we find combination of error. So if x and y are two different values and the sum of that two values is z, where z is the total error take place in the observation and x and y are the errors in different processes, then the combination of error will be considered by the given formula is delta z equals to delta x plus delta y, where delta x and delta y are the errors take place in the true value x and y. Okay, product and quotient error. If x and y are two different values are given, and these are the true values and the product of these two values is z, so the error produced in the product is generally represented by delta z upon z max, because we are find here fractional error and percentage error, and percentage error is always considered maximum. So delta z upon z into 100 is equal to delta y upon y plus delta x upon x. In the case of percentage, we have to multiply it by 100 in both sides, so we can find the error in the quotient and division, multiplication. Okay students, so these are the formula you have to learn. Now the next topic is significant figures. What is significant figures? So students, as you know that in the measurement of a quantity, the digits measured accurately and the first doubtful digits are called significant figures. Means if we are calculating anything and there are some numbers, then in that calculation we find some numbers, some digits which are considered as a significant figures, and Here the important thing is 0, because in the case of 0, sometimes 0 is considered as a significant figure, sometimes it is not considered as a significant figure. So important is that how can we find the significant figure when number 0 is present. So there are some rules for finding the significant figures. Okay, I am giving some examples, and with the help of these examples you can easily understand how can we find the significant figure. Okay, so first example is 65.5. Here there are three digits 6, 0 and 5, and all are significant. That means significant figures are here 3. In the case of 0.0654, only 3 significant figures are here, because 0 is not considered here significant, because it is placed just before the decimal, and before decimal 0 is also present. If 0 is present just before the decimal, and a 0 element is also present before the decimal, then 0 cannot be considered as a significant figure. Now student, you can see here 3.5 into 10 to the power 3 kg, and we can also write it 3.50 into 10 to the power 3 kg, or 3.500 into 10 to the power 3 kg. It means that here in the first case the significant figure is 2, 3.5. We will not consider significant figure any powers. That means 10 to the power 3 is not considered here significant figure. The second case 3.50. In this case, there are three significant figures, and 3.500 contain four significant figures. So student, in this lecture, we we study what is significant figures, what are the errors produced generally in the experiment, and how can we remove these errors by doing by performing any experiment. So with the help of this lecture, you can easily understand why errors are generated and how can we remove these errors by any experiment. So revise this lecture and learn the basic definitions which are used in this lecture. Okay, thank you very much.